What is it about you outside of real estate that really speaks to your character? That's a big piece of your story. And from an investor standpoint, they need to see the psychology. They need to understand who you are as a person. Crafting your pitch. Some of you have seen this piece, so pardon me for some of the repetition, but it's incredibly important that we do this as a starting point. Crafting your pitch starts with your story. So in other words, how can you position yourself? What is your story? What is your background? And I don't mean just in real estate, I mean in life. What are the intangibles? What are the hardships that you've gone through? Pavel makes the comment that him and his wife came over from Europe in 2016. You know, we have lots of people that are immigrants, first generation to this country, just moved to Canada, just moved to the US. Maybe there were some financial setbacks that they bounced back from. Maybe they had, on the positive side, some really good successes in their career and their vocation. Maybe they were competitive athletes. What is it about you outside of real estate that really speaks to your character? That's a big piece of your story. And because there's certain things, certain experiences in your life that demonstrate your credibility without you having to say anything. Like, for example, if I told you guys nothing else about my background, if you didn't know anything about me, and I told you that, you know, I used to be competitive in judo, I was part of the Team Ontario and Team Canada for the Nationals, and, you know, immediately you'd be like, okay, well, he's disciplined, he's focused, he can execute. You know nothing about me real estate-wise, you just know that I can stick to something and see it through. From an investor standpoint, they need to see the psychology. They need to understand who you are as a person. If they get the impression from you that you're jumping from one thing to another, or here's the next great thing, you know, who knows somebody like that in the room, by the way, that just jumps from opportunity to opportunity to opportunity? Most of us, right? Would you invest with them? Probably not. Or you'd wait like 5 years to see if they're still doing it. Or would you buy a product from them? Would you buy life insurance from them? Would you buy whatever thing they're selling? Maybe after a year or 2 years, because ultimately you want to make sure they don't switch their mind again, whatever that is. So what is the story? How do you demonstrate your character? Really important piece. That's one piece. The second piece is your why. Again, your why is highly driven to where you are in your life right now. For Kathy, it's legacy. She said it, it's legacy. Bills are paid. For all intents and purposes, the generation and the generation after, and maybe the generation after that, are probably in good shape. So what is the driver? For her, it's legacy. For some other people, maybe it's immediate requirement to, hey, you know what? I've been an engineer for the city for the last 12 years, loved my job, but I'm tired of the politics. I'm trying to create an alternative way to, you know, replace my 9 to 5. Maybe that's your why. Maybe it's somewhere in between. Maybe there's a charity you're extremely motivated by. So what is that why for you? It's really important that you get clear on that. The third piece is your investment strategy. Please, if you're starting or you're relatively newer, pick one. Don't sit here. If Tom and Kush joined M1 and they were like, hey, we got this development, and then we have this dry cleaning business over here, and then Tom also does this babysitting company over here, and we have this cottage Airbnb that we do over here. It's too much. As an investor, I'd be out. What's your focus? Where is my money going? What you guys, you've seen Shark Tank, Kevin O'Leary, how many times? You're distracted, dude, I'm out. You got too many things going on. I want you focused on my money. That business. It's really important that you guys really nail down the strategy. To echo that, your asset class, again, don't say, you can't just say you're in real estate. What does that mean? Commercial, multifamily, commercial is not even a term. Industrial, office, retail. It's all commercial, but it's broad, it's still not specific enough. If you're already running a 9-figure fund, you have the ability to say, yes, we are a commercial real estate investor, because you're already at that level. If you're buying your first 2-3 assets, be as specific as you possibly can. You can broaden things as you prove your capacity, but don't start out with these grandiose, visions. I call them delusions of grandeur, right out of the gate. Because ultimately, what's your portfolio at now? Oh, 0. Okay, great. And your investment thesis is the entire US real estate market? Really? Great. How do I even mitigate for risk for that? And if I was looking at your deal, I can't. How do I assess the risk? I can't. It's a black box. Basically, you're telling me you're going to do whatever you want. So your market, again, the more novice you are, the more granular you need to be. So my first fund, we clearly said, we are buying in Arizona. And even that was pretty broad, but I had a really strong team, so we were okay with that. We said we bought Arizona, we bought retail. Storefront, typically medically anchored. And it was kind of a quasi-blind pool relative to that. You know, that was specific enough because we had a strong enough team to support the fact that that's what we were doing. If I was newer to the game, I would have said, hey, I'm buying this size to this size in these 3 cities or this one city because of these fundamentals, end of story. And then back it up with the right team that you have. It's really important that you guys get clear on that. And then finally, to your point, John, is your unfair advantage. Tell me about what makes you the obvious person to invest with. What is it about you? You know, again, you can pull from your professional accolades, you can pull from your personal life. Maybe you've exited a business in a related field. Maybe you were part of a business. Maybe you were involved with something else. Maybe you grew up in a family. Kathy's family is multi-generational real estate. That's a heck of an unfair advantage. Maybe you work in an office with people that you have access to. Maybe you're part of certain communities like M1 where you have massive support. That's an unfair advantage. Maybe you're somebody who grew up in a construction family and you could walk into a property and spec out the rehab costs within minutes. I know, Pavel, that's your case with your construction company, right? You can walk into a building and pretty quickly assess what the costs are. That's an incredible unfair advantage. That, for you, that should be one of your things that you put into what makes you the obvious person to work with. So each of you have something. Maybe you have a finance background. Maybe you have an IT background, technical background. Maybe you're ISO 9000 or 900,000 or whatever those certifications are. Maybe, the point is you have something that makes you uniquely qualified. Maybe your unfair advantage is that you moved out of the house when you were 14 years old and you've been on your own ever since and you've always made things happen. You got to think through your life story. We have within the M1 portal for those M1 community, or if you haven't done it yet, there's a test that we give you that actually asks you a bunch of questions to help you flush that stuff out, because it's really important that you get clear on this, because this will drive the bus for just about everything else. No one is buying your fund. No one is buying your deal. They're buying you. That's why they invest with you or in you. You know, don't commoditize yourself. I've never had an investor call me and say, hey, your deal says it pays, I don't know, pick a number, 15, and this guy says he pays 17, so I'm going to go with him. You're not shopping for mortgages here. You know, you're not shopping for a best deal on a used car. It's the relationship. All right? It's true retail, it's true institutional, it's true across the board. All things being equal, we want to do business with people we like. All things not being equal, we still want to do business with people we like, right? How do you like people? You become likable, you become relatable. By being able to segment things in this way is the fastest way that I've been able to do what I've done over my career. And this doesn't just have to be real estate. You could apply this to operating businesses, anything. It's a framework.